a knowledge of self.
We must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Stick your chest out.
Stop.
Oh, okay. Thank you, John. Because I was having a problem because I couldn't hear the music to know when it was stopping. So is that going to be an issue for me?
No, not normally. Just that this
I
thing.
can't hear you.
You can't hear me because you don't have your headphones on. So
I can't hear you still.
you don't have your headphones on. You don't have your headphones on.
Oh, them?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go on. Go on.
Okay, because I'm going to stop using this if that's the case. I love them and everything, but if I can't hear, all right. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Satora's Black History Corner internet program. I am your host, Catherine Hunter Williams, along with my co-host, Catherine Blake.
Hello, everybody.
And excuse me for that opening, but there is so much new technology going on over here, and they have me with some new headphones, but I can't hear nothing. So I'm going back to the old way. All right? Is that all right with you, Kevin? All righty then. Okay. Thank you. And thank you for your patience, audience. Since tomorrow is Veterans Day, we're going to honor our vets with our story about past and present American African men and women in the military. I'm going to start off our story with Crispus Attucks. And I can't see no monitor to see if it's up.
Not this time.
Yeah, but I need to see that kind of stuff, Catherine. Okay. Oh, Lord, I'm still on the air. Forgive me, everybody. This is New Deal. Okay. Ready? All right. Crispus Attucks was an American African man killed during the Boston Massacre, making him the first casualty of the American Revolution. He is believed to have been born around 1723, and he was born into slavery, and he's the son of Prince Younger, a slave shipped to America from Africa, and Nancy Attucks, a nut-tick Indian. Little is known about Attucks' life or his family, who resided in Farmington, Massachusetts, just out of Boston. A 1750 ad in the Boston Gazette sought the recovery of a runaway slave named Crispus. And I mean, this is the way this is spelled. Now, his name is originally spelled Crispus, but the recovery of the runaway slave's name was Crispus, Cripas. But all that is definitely known about Attucks is that he was first to fall during the Boston Massacre in March 5th, 1770. In 1880, the Crispus Attucks Monument was unveiled in Boston Commons.
I've never heard of the Natick Indians.
Indians, nope. But I'm sure it's a lot of them that were here in this country that we have not ever
Haven't heard of. You're right.
What has been pieced together paints a picture of a young man who showed an early skill for buying and trading goods. He seemed unafraid of the consequences for escaping the bonds of slavery. Historians have, in fact, pinpointed Attucks as the focus of an advertisement in the 1750 edition of the Boston Gazette, in which a white landowner offered to pay £10 for the return of the young runaway slave.
Really?
I don't know how much 10 pounds in, but this, you know that America was under the
Mm-hmm.
British control. That's what this is all about. He ran away from his master, William Brown, from Farmington on the 30th of September. Last advertisement read, a mulatto fellow, about 27 years of age, named Crispus, 6'2" he was tall, short, curly hair, his knees nearer together than common. That means he was knock kneed.
Not needed, yeah.
And had a slight colored bearskin coat. Attucks, however, managed to escape for good, spending the next decades on trading ships and whaling vessels coming in and out of Boston. Attucks also found work as a rope maker. And as he was a revolutionary hero. As British control over the colonies tightened, tension escalated between the colonists and British soldiers. So I'm going to give you a little history on that, huh? Attucks was one of those directly affected by the worsening situation. A seaman, he was a seaman, like Attucks, constantly lived with the threat that they could be forced into the British Navy while back on land. British soldiers regularly took part-time work away from the colonists. So they're going to force them to work with the British Army rather than working for the American Army.
Well, they wouldn't have been working for the American Army.
On March 2nd, 1770, a Friday, a fight erupted between a group of Boston rope makers and 3 British soldiers. Tensions were ratcheted up further 3 nights later when a British soldier looking for work entered a Boston pub, only to be greeted by a contingent of furious sailors, one of whom was Attucks.
Oh.
The details regarding what followed have always been the source of debate. But that evening, a group of Bostonians approached the guard in front of the customs house and started taunting him, messing with him, huh? Probably calling him names. The situation quickly escalated when a contingent of British redcoats came to the defense of their fellow soldier. More angry Bostonians joined the forces, the fracas, throwing snowballs.
What?
Snowballs and other items at the soldiers. Attucks was one of those in the middle of the fight, and when the British opened the fire, he was the first one of 5 men killed.
Snowballs against bullets.
Yeah.
Wow.
His murder made him the first casualty of the American Revolution. The American Revolution was when the Americans was taking this country back, but wanted to rule it themselves, and so they went against British
They wanted to get out from under the British
rule.
rule.
Yeah. In other words, they used to call it the Boston
Tea
Tea Party.
Party.
Yeah. Quickly becoming known as Boston's Massacre, the episode further propelled the colonies toward war with the British. Flames were fanned even more when the soldiers involved in the incident were acquitted on the grounds of self-defense. I know that's right. John Adams, who went on to become the second United States president, defended the soldiers in court during the trial. Really? A president?
He wasn't president then, but
Oh, he became. Okay. Defended. He was their attorney. During the trial, Adam labeled the colonists an unruly mob that forced his clients to open fire. Helping to lead the attack was Attucks. Adams charged, though debate has raged over how involved he was in the fight. One account claimed he was simply leaning on the stick. He was simply leaning on the stick when the gunshots erupt. Even so, Attucks became a martyr. His body was transported to Faneuil Hall, where he and the others killed in the attack lay in state. City leaders even waved the law around black burials and permitted Attucks to be buried with the others. That means they was white at the Park Street Cemetery.
I did not know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either. They went around. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. In the years since his death, Attucks' legacy has continued to endure, first with the American colonists eager to break from British rule, and later among the 19th century abolitionists and 20th century civil rights activists. In 1964, in his 1964 book, Why We Can't Wait, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. lauded Attucks for his moral courage and his defining role in American history. All right. That's our story on Crispus Attucks. The first man was actually killed on the American soil. He was a black man that died, but his country, actually, he was just shot because he was standing on a stick. He wasn't actually in anything. But they made a martyr out of him. Okay.
Killed him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Although independence had not been fully officially declared, many had considered Attucks the first American casualty of the Revolutionary War. And that's been going on, and we're still talking about it today. The Boston Massacre greatly helped to foster colonists' spirit of independence from Great Britain. More than 5,000 blacks, both slave and free, would later take up the cause and fight for America's independence, which is the 4th of July. I'm right about that, ain't it?
Well, that's when they
Um,
declared that
Independence. Unfortunately, freedom for most of them would have to wait. That's 5,000 black. That ain't funny. That's our story on Crispus Attucks. So just today, as I said, we was going to talk about the military men, American African military men and women, famous and not so famous American African men and women in the military.
Amen.
Now, I'm going to turn this over to Miss B so she can tell our story about women in the military.
Yes,
and she's going to bring us up to the present.
Yes,
I'm giving you the past. Now she's bringing you to the present.
Well, this is past. There's some past in here also. But this is her story. We're going to talk about a little bit about Colonel Stephanie Dawson. She's a retired U.S. Army National Guard. Let me say these here. Standing on their shoulders, we could not would not have done it without them, the women. They paved the way for us to serve.
No, that's right.
We have no idea of what it took to live in the days of segregation and discrimination. We have no idea of what it meant to live in real poverty. We have no idea of what it meant to be in a man's world. We have no idea of what it meant to be black, female, and serve in the military. We have no idea of what it really meant to serve during World War II. Now, in 2008, on November the 16th, Commander Colonel Stephanie Dawson became the first woman commander of the 369th Sustainment Brigade, known as the Harlem Hell Fighters. Harlem Hell Fighters.
So is she from New York?
I didn't go into her background. They were talking more or less like the Harlem Hell Fighters win her peace.
Yeah. Because that's in New York, Harlem.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there was a lot of people that
yes, there was
came from Harlem.
That was a National Guard unit.
Oh.
That was a National Guard unit, and they were known for their remarkable service in World War I.
Were they all black?
Absolutely. Harlem Hell Fighters, they endured 191 days of combat in World War I. And that was more than any other American unit. And the unit received the Croix de Guerre from the French Army for its efforts. There were 171 officers and men that received individual awards. The Harlem Hell Fighters, origin is from the 15th Infantry Regiment of New York National Guard. That
Okay,
was a
so it was okay.
that was an all African American unit. And in 1918, they fought with France against Germany. Now, many women served in many areas during World War II and became outstanding citizens of the United States. We have a picture here. I know you don't have it here, but there is a brigadier general, and her name is Mrs. Rosetta Y. Burks. She is retired. And there's a Captain W. Roundtree from World War II veteran. There's a Lucille Brown. Now, they came together, these women came together, and they discovered that their history was not written down. Nobody knows who they are and what they're doing. So they formed this National Association of Black Military Women. Now, they were losing their history, and the sad thing was that the younger generation of soldiers, families, and friends didn't even know that black military women existed or even served during the American Revolution, World War I, World War II, and the Korean Wars. There was no media, no documentaries, no displays, nothing in the history book about black military women, and they were not shown in any war movies. Even today, there is nothing in place to capture black military women's history. So the ladies at a reunion realized it, and they said they're going to get all their memories together and they're going to write them down. And they created the National Association of Black Military Women. They discovered that it's their responsibility to tell their story.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
That's
right here.
exactly right.
It's our responsibility to get our story out to our people, to all ethnic groups, so they'll know who we are, what we have done, what we have accomplished and achieved. It is our responsibility, and somebody has to take that responsibility.
Absolutely.
One way or the other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But don't it just what? Just goes to the waste. It just goes to negligence. It's no thought in American and nobody in the world when they don't know our story.
This is a little something right here. At July of 1976, a group of 21 women who served in the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps and the Women's Army Corps during World War II, the Korean and Vietnam Wars, got together at Lucille Brown's. I know you don't have her picture. Got together at her house in Hampton, Virginia, and they created a charter. And this group decided to locate and invite other former service women to the first reunion that was held in 1978 in Dallas, Texas. So they did have a reunion. These ladies got together, and they're inviting all women that were in the military, that are in there now, to come and tell your story to the National Association for Black Military Women. It's on the web. So go on there and let them know who you are, what you did in the military. They were, now these women were, some people think that they were just nurses. No, they were not.
Well, that's kind of like Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was in the war.
They were
But she
out
was
there.
not a nurse. She nursed, but she was not a nurse.
Yeah, right.
She was a spy. She was
Some
actually
people
working
think
for
that
them.
all women did was just get nursing. That's not true. When you read more into it, you'll find that they were in combat. They were there doing all sorts of things.
Actually being shot at and killed.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me go through that.
Thank you.
More than 26% of female casualties were in the major wars of from 1980 to 2009 were black women. In over 30 years, the percentage has dropped of black people enlisted. in the services. Now serving, there's only 13% of black women that are serving, and 14% of black men that are serving.
But the reason you had told me earlier that why it had dropped so is because so many of them coming back here dead.
Okay, yep. That was one of the first things that people, especially African Americans, did because of unemployment and poverty. Went into the service.
Great services,
Yes,
go to college,
going to school,
get school, get jobs and whatever, get training and everything.
They were coming back dead. Their dreams were
They
just
actually
shot.
went into there with those because they have recruiters out there and everything, and they actually get in there, but then a war come up.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta
Every
go.
time.
Yep.
Go.
So I can understand why
Yeah.
it's been dropped off so, and
has-
I'm praying that
yeah.
those that have not went have jobs.
And not only that, but you gotta remember about the racism too. Because promotion is one of the hardest things that they would be the ones to work the hardest, and no promotion, no promotion. So that was really a good thing to be promoted to be a colonel, and here at brigadier general, a black woman, Rosetta Burke. Wow, brigadier general. And Captain Miss Debbie Richards, she's 100 years old. She's still alive this year. She was 100 years old on April 17th, 2014. She was a captain, Miss Debbie Roundtree. She was in World War II. She's still alive.
Let me clear up why we don't have any images. My computer, my internet went out. And it went out on this on Colonel Stephanie Dawson. Otherwise, we would have had more images. But because I couldn't pull up the images, we only have this one. But she's a great image to have in front of everybody because of the
Absolutely.
things she have done. She is today a retired United States Army National Guard. But I don't know if you read this one. I don't know if you have this on your paper or not. And it says they served in many areas during the World War II and became outstanding in the United States. Did you read that?
Oh, yeah.
They live quietly in your neighborhoods.
Oh, no, I
They
didn't
sure
read
do.
that.
They are probably your mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, or even great-great-grandmothers. Do you know who they are? Well, it's time that you find out. It's time that your children know. Your neighbors know. Your church members know that they have sheroes in their families and communities.
Amen.
We should be honoring these ladies who served in our United States Armed Forces to allow us to live under the freedom that we have today.
And kudos to Miss Loretta Lynch. She is President Barack Obama's nominee for the U.S. Attorney General. Hope you get it.
Yep, we hope you do get it. And I don't know when they're going to have that confirmation.
I'm not sure. You never know what's going to happen with those Republicans now.
Well, the Republicans have got control of
They got control now. So
I'm looking over there, John. They done got control of the house. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I know you and George having a ball with this one. I can't hear you. That's why I'm going to put that one on next time so we can have a conversation, okay? But, they got control. Anyway, I want to also go back a little bit with Crispus Attucks because I didn't tell you. I told you the birth date when he was born, and his occupation is a folk hero. Really, he's just a folk hero. Actually, it seemed like from what we've read here that he was just standing on a stick and actually accidentally got shot. But he's a folk hero, and they took him and made him a folk hero.
they didn't
No. Also, he joined the realm of his beloved ancestors on March 5th, 1770. They did get that. And his place of birth, I think I had said it, Framingham, Massachusetts. And his place of death was Boston, Massachusetts. He is also known as Crispus, like I said with the A. And his full name is Crispus Attucks. And that's our story today. We still got a few minutes, Miss Blake. Can I name some of these women off? Tell some more about it. It's some more women on there, ain't it?
Yeah, well, that was Lucille Brown, and yeah, there was some ladies
These
here.
here, you know.
Yes.
Who
Well, they've
is
got
that? Is that they don't have a name on her?
no. Well, she was in the other papers.
Okay.
I got names for their pictures here. Well, they're
me say
ministers,
something
they're
about her.
educators.
Is
Yep.
she the one that's 100 years
Yeah,
old?
that's Dovey Roundtree.
Okay.
She's 100 years
Years
old
old
and
and she's
still
still
alive.
living today.
Still alive.
That's awesome.
That's a good picture of her on her birthday. Yeah.
But do you know who that one right there is?
That's her right there.
That's her?
Yeah, that's her.
That's an awesome picture. That must
And that's
be
her there too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a blessing that she's 100 years old and still have her health.
She
So
was
this was all about her.
no, not all about her.
Okay.
These other ladies are on here too. And I didn't know that she was also a civil rights pioneer too.
Oh.
Miss Dovey Roundtree, World War II veteran.
So remember, tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
And it's a day set aside for us to remember those who have fought and died for our country to be free from internal and external forces, and for those who are still fighting for us and others around the world today. Satora's Black History Corner Internet program comes to you via satellite at All Points TV. That's one word, all, ALLPOINTS TV.com. You can watch our program every second and fourth Monday of the month, starting at 3:30 p.m. Also, be sure to watch what's going on with political pundit Dr. George Moss every Monday at 2 p.m. We sincerely hope you enjoyed our theme, Be Proud to Be Black, featuring Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, written by TP the Product. If you would like more information, call TP the Product at 810-962-3258. That's 810-962-3258. As always, I like to say asante, which in Swahili means thanks to all of you who have watched our program today. And if you've liked what you've seen and heard, pass it on to others. We need your support. Without it, we would truly cease to exist. Until next time, keep on keeping on with us. And remember, tomorrow's Veterans Day. Remember the veterans. Keep on keeping on with us and stay in perfect hotep, which means peace.
Peace.